Dear colleague, welcome to workshop on closing quality loop. We are discussing this on the light of student program exit survey. Stakeholder feedback is one important tool in the continuous improvement of the program. We are doing this for getting the perception of stakeholders regarding our program. This is one of the use, but there is another important purpose for this is for the continuous improvement as well as indirect assessment of graduate attributes and program learning outcomes. And we are conducting different types of surveys like program exit survey, employer survey, alumni survey, and so on and so on. All these surveys we have to follow the same procedure or same way of processing we have to use for all type of these surveys. So once we conduct the survey, how to close the loop? This is what we are discussing today. In the quality loop, actually the first stage is planning. This we already did. We have plans for conducting various types of surveys like exit survey we conduct every semester, faculty survey or employer survey we conduct every year. Like this, each survey when to conduct, how to conduct, we have a plan, approved plan, and we are doing it. Then once that survey is conducted, how to use this data for closing the loop. This is what we are going to see. So first step, planning, we have it. And second thing is the assessment or conducting the survey. Every semester we are conducting the survey. Now not recently, end of the last semester we conducted program exit survey and we are discussing about that survey. Once the survey is conducted, that data we have to analyze. That is the next step, evaluation. Why we are analyzing the data? To analyze, to identify the strengths and area of improvement. Also, in some cases, if there are more area of improvement, we may have to consider some priorities for improvement. And finally, using this data, we have to prepare a report. Once we identify this strength and area of improvement, next step is to prepare an action plan for improving the areas we are weak, our weakness. So prepare an action plan. That is the step number 4. And when you prepare an action plan, there are, okay, this is the issue, this is the action to do it, this is what we expect, these are the main things which we need. Along with that, when you make an action plan, make sure that you have a clearly defined responsibility, who is responsible for that action to be implemented and what is the timeline. These are the things required. Normally, this continuous improvement action plan, nowadays it is part of annual program report. Once this plan is prepared, like if plan is prepared for this year, next year we will perform the planned activities. That is the next step, last step. We will make a plan, and using that plan we will implement it. Not only just implement, you have to monitor the progress, because some actions may be long, maybe take more than a year or more than semester. So at end of every semester we will prepare a progress report. Not a must, if required, prepare a progress report and monitor the progress. And once it is implemented, in the next cycle we will check it again. This is how this loop goes. So it's a continuous loop. We will check again. When you check again, sometimes we may see, okay, that weakness is not improved. So no problem. Sometimes the action plan may not be successful. If it is not improved, we will prepare another plan. Again, we will implement it. And through this cycle, sometimes it will be improved, sometimes not improved, sometimes partially improved. No problem. We will continue this process, and slowly this process will be improved. That is why we call it as continuous improvement. So how we do this? How to do it? This we will discuss with an example of student program exit survey. Survey was conducted by the quality department. Nowadays, all surveys are conducted by them, and they conducted the survey. Actually, that survey had 3 main areas. One was the assessment of graduate attributes. Another one was assessment of program learning outcomes. Then there were student feedback on the facilities and services provided. Remember, this was exit survey, so this is the perception of the students, graduating students. Once the survey is conducted, we need this data. So this data is shared to the entities. This is what quality department does. They share it with the entities, like depends on which type of survey. This is a exit survey, so it is related to the program. Data will be shared with the programs. Once the program receive it, the analysis part. This is the responsibility of program assessment and evaluation committee. So program assessment and evaluation committee has to perform the evaluation, and that is the analysis of the data, and prepare a report and also the action plan. This action plan which we prepare with this report will be included in the annual program report, and the report which you prepare supposed to be a attachment for the annual program report. And the monitoring of this action plan is again done through annual program report, because in the annual program report for this year, in section H we will prepare the action plan, and in the section A of next year annual program report we will do monitoring of these activities. So this is how we are doing it here. Just coming to the details of this survey results. The survey was conducted and its survey results are shared with us. Actually, let it download. This is the total survey response. It contains questions related to all programs, all colleges, all students. Their full data is shared by the quality department. Now, our next step is to analyze this data. To analyze this data, first we have to separate the data for each program. This is done by me already. It is divided. You can see tabs for each program. So what you have to do is take a copy of the page for your program. Each program PAC committee has to take their own data separately. Once this data is separated, to do the analysis, we have divided this into different sections. As I told you, there is graduate attributes, there is program learning outcomes, then engagement, then there is teaching and not teaching and learning. This is facilities and services. Then it is divided into some student affairs, that is student services. Then finally overall quality of the program, teaching and learning, and then overall quality of the program. Like a lot of data is there. All this data is partially it is analyzed. A part of it already analyzed to make this process easy. All this data is analyzed, calculated the average, and it is plotted and also made as a consolidated table. So this data will be shared with you. What you have to do is go through this data, analyze this data. This only mathematical data is analyzed. In addition to this, we have comments from the students. We can see that for under each section. Here all it is mathematics, but when it comes to here, for example, for the classroom facility, they gave the score. The score, this is analyzed and data is provided there. You can go to this type of curves there, but their comments also are there. So each committee has to go through these comments from the students and identify. For example, regarding the classroom facility, many students are, these are the comments from them, and many are not satisfied with, for example, air condition or the lighting. So lighting in the classroom is one of the concern of most of the students, means we have to address it. Like this, each item we have to go and see what are the students' comments and identify what are our strengths and weaknesses. So for making this mathematical calculations and plotting easy, I have made it as I mentioned. So for each item, the curves are available here. You can see this is for PLO, this is for graduate attributes, and then facilities, students affairs, teaching and learning. So all items are provided here. What you have to do is you have to take data from here. These are the examples. Another example is for this curves tables like this in the form of tables and in the charts. It is already provided for each program. So go to take a copy of your own program page and take this data. Once you get this data, you have to prepare two reports. One report is for the evaluation of graduate attributes. Graduate attributes like this, a format. This sample is shared with you. This will be shared with you. This is first part is just an introduction. Then for this is for the power program I made. So here this is the graduate attribute statements, and this 3.54, 3.38, these are the data received from the survey analysis page. That is the Excel sheet, and that data for your program you have to replace these statements and data here, and also the curve. And finally here, this is after this figure number 1, this is the analysis of our data. This for each program you have to rewrite it. Also you have to identify the area of strength and area of improvement for each program. This has to be identified. So this is just a sample report format. If you want to make any changes you can make, but this is just a sample. Like this you can prepare a report, and finally it has to be approved by PAC, and the approval details provided here. Similarly, we have to make a second report, that is student exit survey analysis. As a whole, the total survey, graduate attribute already we discussed, so that we remove. Then starting from the program learning outcome, this is the statement of electrical power program. So don't use the same statement, replace the statement. Also the values for each program, use their values and their statements, their chart, and below the chart write the analysis of that chart. What you see, where you see good point, where you see the weakness, this type of things. Similarly for each satisfaction, each item, like overall quality of the program, engagement, facility services, teaching and learning, and all these are provided here in the term of tables or chart. You can decide, some can be charts, some can be data, or you can put both tables. And finally what we need is, like you as I show you in that file, there are comments from the students, and also there are some general comments from the students. That general comments from the students are available in the last end of this page under the overall quality. This here, the program overall quality, there are some questions. What are the biggest strength of the program? What are the biggest weakness of the program? How can program improve? Any other comments? So if there are some, like the study plan is complex, there is one example. So if we have to improve, but actually it is about the old study plan. His comment is maybe he studies in the old study plan. Already we improved it. So it can be labs helps, that is the strength. Like this, there are comments from the students. So these comments you can summarize, and you can put here other comments and your analysis of those comments. And finally, based on this analysis in the previous sections, in the section 5, this is more important. You have to write what is the area of strength, what is the area of improvement, and finally you have to prepare an action plan. And this action plan, the same information will be copied to, or not same information from this will be one of the input for preparing annual program report. And this report has to be attached with the annual program report for 2020-21. So this is important, strength and area of improvement. Another comment from the students, you can get this. These samples will be shared with you. So that's all what we have to do. We are not completely closing the loop. We are in the steps for closing the loops. We have plan, assessment, evaluation, and action plan. This is what we are going to do. This once you prepare this action plan, doing and checking again will be inshallah next step of this activity. So that's all for this closing loop webinar. If you have any more further questions, anytime you can contact the quality coordinator of the department or quality standing committee or the planning and development directorate. Thank you.